Every generation has characteristics that make them stand out from other generations. And when it comes to baby boomers and millennials, it's not just the decades between that make them stand out. It turns out they also react and adapt to stress differently. If you have wondered what really goes on in the brains on millennials versus baby boomers, well, you're in luck. Here's a close look at how these two groups deal with and adapt to stress. 1. Workplace dynamics and battling burnout. Ever felt like work is a never-ending roller coaster, and sometimes the ride gets a bit too wild? That's where workplace dynamics come into play, especially when it comes to stress and burnout. For baby boomers, the office used to be a different playground. They thrived on the traditional 9-to-5 routine, valuing loyalty and hard work. But now, some might feel the heat as the work landscape changes, facing new expectations and rapid technological shifts. It's like adapting to a new game while you're in the middle of playing another. On the flip side, millennials seem to dance to a different beat. They value flexibility and seek a balance between work and life, aiming for a more adaptable workplace. However, this adaptability sometimes dances hand in hand with increased pressures and blurred boundaries between work and personal life. Burnout can feel like carrying the weight of the world, affecting both generations. For baby boomers, it might stem from facing these new work expectations, or grappling with swiftly evolving technology. Meanwhile, millennials might feel the heat due to high-pressure environments and the constant buzz of being connected 24/7. Tackling burnout isn't a walk in the park for either group. Baby boomers might be learning new tricks in a fast-paced world, while millennials might be figuring out how to set boundaries in an always-on culture. Finding that sweet spot between work, life, and sanity is crucial. It's about nurturing an environment that supports mental well-being, allowing individuals to excel without feeling like they're running a never-ending marathon. 2. Financial challenges. Money talk isn't always easy, especially when each generation carries its own set of financial weights. For baby boomers, the journey seemed different. They navigated a world where owning a home was a symbol of success, and savings accounts were their faithful companions. Back then, you could buy a home by age 30 with a single steady job and a family. But now, some might find themselves balancing retirement dreams with the unpredictability of a changing economy. On the other side of the coin, millennials walk a different path. They're often juggling student loans, housing costs, and an entry-level job market that sometimes feels like an endless maze. It's like learning to swim in the deep end without a life jacket. As you would expect, it's far from the case when millennials are involved. You see, most millennials came of age during some of the country's most economically downtrodden times. The trauma that comes with being financially unstable almost always sends them into panic mode. The financial stress might feel like carrying a bag full of rocks. Baby boomers might be striving to secure a comfortable retirement amidst financial uncertainties. Meanwhile, millennials might be feeling the weight of loans, trying to find their footing in a competitive job market. The struggle is real for both groups. Baby boomers might be eyeing a finish line that seems to shift with economic tides, while millennials are hustling to establish themselves in an environment that's rapidly changing the rules of the game. Achieving financial balance and stability is a journey that's different for everyone. It's about smart choices, seeking advice, and maybe a dash of creativity in navigating the intricate world of finances. It's not just about paying the bills, but also about building a foundation for a secure and comfortable future. 3. Coping mechanisms. So, when life throws lemons, how do we make the lemonade? Coping mechanisms are like the secret recipes we use to handle stress, and each generation seems to have its own set of ingredients for this blend. According to the American Psychological Association, about 88% of millennials suffer workplace stress, and 1 in 10 say they're stressed about their career in the future. Each generation seems to have its unique way of handling life's challenges. For baby boomers, it might sometimes involve sticking to what they've known, like brushing things off and working through the stress without asking for help. But as the world changes, this approach might not always work as well. Millennials, on the other hand, might turn to different tactics. It's not just about grin and bear it. Sometimes they cope by taking a break, scrolling through their phones, constantly swiping, or diving into distractions that don't always help them solve what's stressing them out. These coping methods can sometimes make things worse, adding more stress and lessening the chance to find a real solution. 4. Time management, they say, is a tricky companion. For baby boomers, it was about punching the clock and following the daily routine. They often championed the traditional 9-to-5 structure, drawing clear lines between work hours and personal time. However, as the sands of time continue to shift, they find themselves adapting to new time management strategies. Millennials, on the other hand, seem to be orchestrating a different melody. They appreciate flexibility in their schedules, valuing a balance between work and personal life. However, this flexibility sometimes brings its own challenges, as the line between on the clock and off the clock blurs, demanding a tightrope walk between personal time and work responsibilities. Baby boomers grew up in a world where smartphones and digital technology were nothing more than science fiction. It's not so hard to understand why they would often prefer the good old-fashioned ways of organizing their time. Think paper planners and calendars. Their work environments were typically structured. As a result, their time management tends to be more rigid and structured. Baby boomers also prioritize job security and long-term career goals in order to adequately manage their time. They have this traditional climb the career ladder mindset. In contrast, millennials tend to focus on immediate gratification, short-term goals, and work-life balance. Millennials also have been surrounded by technology from an early age. They're the ones who always have their smartphones at hand and rely on digital tools and apps to manage their schedules and tasks. They've also witnessed the rise of flexible work arrangements, like remote work in the gig economy, so they tend to be more adaptable in how they manage their time. 5. Career stress. Imagine growing up in the post-World War II era. This is the world that the baby boomers, born between 1946 and 1964, came of age in. They entered the workforce during a time of economic prosperity and relative job security. For them, the path to a successful career was often steady and straightforward. All they had to do was work hard, show loyalty to your employer, and climb the corporate ladder. Job security and long-term employment were considered the norm. However, this stability also came with its own set of expectations. Baby boomers prioritized their job security as well as their career advancement over other aspects of their lives. So the concept of work-life balance wasn't as prevalent because they practically had to work round the clock. But fast forward to the millennial generation, and you can say the reverse is the case. Millennials entered the workforce around the wake of the Great Recession of 2008. And unlike the boomers, job security wasn't a given for millennials. Many of them faced underemployment, student loan debt, and rising living costs. The job market was more competitive, and many had to adapt to an ever-changing economic landscape. 6. Resilience and adaptability. Back to the lemons in the lemonade. Making lemonade out of lemons is something that baby boomers are all too well known for. Life can throw curveballs when you least expect them, and how we react to those twists often speaks to our resilience and adaptability. For baby boomers and millennials, these qualities have been honed in different ways. Baby boomers, raised during times of significant societal change, often carry a robust spirit of resilience. They've weathered economic ups and downs, shifting values, and evolving work landscapes. It's like being seasoned travelers who've journeyed through many terrains, adapting to diverse challenges along the way. But in today's fast-paced world, baby boomers might encounter situations where their tried-and-true methods meet the unfamiliar. Navigating a tech-driven universe or adapting to an ever-changing job market can feel like learning a new language. On the other hand, millennials have grown up in an era of rapid technological advancement, which has sharpened their adaptability. They embrace change and innovation, much like enthusiastic explorers of uncharted territory. It's like stepping onto a constantly moving train and figuring out how to dance along with it. However, this dynamic environment can bring its own set of challenges. Millennials might find themselves seeking stability in a world that often feels like a whirlwind. The need to adapt to frequent changes can sometimes be a source of stress. 7. Political and social stress. Baby boomers grew up during a period of significant social and political change, which influenced their views on civic engagement. For many in this generation, dealing with political and social stress often involves traditional forms of political engagement. They are more likely to vote, attend town hall meetings, and actively participate in political parties in order to have a direct influence on the political landscape. Their approach comes from the belief in established systems. So when they face any kind of political stress, they may channel their energy into these activities as a way to make a difference. Millennials, on the other hand, turn to social media platforms and online communities when dealing with political and social stress. They use these digital channels to raise awareness of issues, share information, and mobilize support for the causes they are passionate about. Expressing their views and feelings with other millennials online is a huge part of how they deal with stress. 8. Retirement concerns. You can think of baby boomers as those who grew up with the idea of a typical retirement. For a ton of them, this meant aiming to call it a day around their mid-60s. As a result, they are pretty traditional when it comes to retirement planning. They also participate in employer-sponsored pension plans and retirement funds. Sometimes they even go as far as hiring financial advisors to help them navigate the complexities of retirement planning. Millennials, on the other hand, are expected to work well into their later years, all thanks to financial pressures, and of course the cocktail of economic troubles, including the student loan debt they accumulated when they were younger. They've seen the struggles and financial constraints their parents faced, igniting worries about their own retirement security. With longer life expectancies, unpredictable job markets, and the looming presence of student loan debts, their concerns are valid and real. The retirement chessboard isn't always clear. Baby boomers are contemplating if they've saved enough for the golden years, while millennials are strategizing how to even start that saving game. Somewhere in the middle, both generations must come to terms that things are vastly different, and they must approach all of these topics with understanding. Which of these struggles can you relate to? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe to the MindScope channel. Also, don't forget to share this with those you think could benefit from the information covered. You never know, someone may need to hear something we discussed in this video.